If you run an LLC or a corporation in Pennsylvania, then you need to know about this new PA annual filing requirement that just started this year. So without further ado, let's get right into it. The very first thing we're going to be doing is we're going to go to file.bos.pa.gov. This is going to take you to the Pennsylvania Department of State website. And here there's many different business filing services and features that you can do. If you haven't logged in or if you haven't created an account, create an account. I'm just going to log out real quick so I can show you what that looks like. So once you click log in, it'll take you to this screen here. If you've already created an account, then you can create an account here, username and password. If you haven't, then register real quick. The register process shouldn't be too hard, I don't believe. So it's just creating a username, password, confirming your password, and then just some basic information about who you are, and just basic security information as well. So once you have logged in to your accounts, I'm just going to log in real quick. I'm going to ignore this, so just bear with me here real quick. You're going to ignore this part here and you're just going to go straight to Quick Links, Business Filing Services. And this is going to take you back to this main website that we already started at. And here you're going to click Search. And then you are going to search your business name, not just any business name, but your actual legal business name from when you actually first filed your business with the Department of State and with the Secretary of State. So for me, for example, I don't have a doing business as or anything like that. So for me, it's just Braun Financial and Accounting, and should pop up. Yep, right here. So once this pops up, it's not going to pop up for me just because I've already filed it, but you'll see right here where it says File an Amendment for me, you'll see File Annual Report, and you'll click that, and it'll take you to what you'll see on this net screen. So just for the record, I've already actually filed my annual report, but we're going to go through the process still as it would be if you were just starting out. So this is going to be the very first screen. When you click File Your Annual Report, this is what's going to pop up. So you're going to see the file number, which is just going to be the file number that for your first annual report that you'll ever be filing, your legal business name, the jurisdiction information, whichever state you actually created your business in, which this should all be defaulted. It should already be filled out. You shouldn't have to fill out any of this information. And then you're going to see this email address for notifications. The Department of State is required by law to notify companies of filing requirements. So I would recommend opting into these email notifications and putting it to an email that you'll actively be looking at. So for me, I try to put all the email that I ever subscribe to towards this email, just so it's not clogging up my main email. And I highly recommend actually that you do partake in the email opt-in, just because it's a lot better than having to get any sort of mailing from the government. They're usually not as quick about it. So getting this email, entering in your email is a lot faster. So once you do that, click Next Up, and you'll see every time once you go click Next Up, you're going to see a little check mark there once you filled everything out. So the current registered office is the commercial registered office provider. So what does that mean? Well, this is as presently identified in the records of the Department of State. This address must be in Pennsylvania. So basically, your main location of business in the state of Pennsylvania. For most solo business owners, this is just going to be your home address or wherever it is you are based out of in Pennsylvania. So just enter in your address. This should all, again, be default filled out. You shouldn't have to refill this out as long as you have actually created an LLC, and this is your, if you created an LLC 5 years ago, all this information should relatively be filled out for you. If there is any changes in your office location though, or your main location for the business, be sure to click I want to change registered office and put that new address in, because obviously then you'd want to be receiving the mail at the right location. If not, then you can just say I do not want to change the registered office and click Next Up. Oh, I accidentally forgot to do that. Told you what to do and I still forgot to do it. The principal office is pretty much the same thing as the registered office for most solo business owners. But this is basically just where the association performs its primary executive function. So if you're a corporation, it might be different if you're a multi-state corporation. But for most small solo business owners out there, it's just going to be, again, your home address, your main principal location of where you do business and where you actually perform the main office work for your business, wherever that may be. So if it's at home, then it'll be your home location. If you have an office, maybe it's your office location, things like that. So once you fill this out, you're going to click Next Up. If it's just the same, you can as the register office, you can just click this button here, by the way, just to help you out. So then you click Next Up, and this is the governor information. So this one can be a little confusing if you're not sure 100% like what this is, because you probably never heard of governor. You're thinking of the governor of the state of Pennsylvania maybe, but the governor is basically I'm just going to read it word for word over here. A governor is a person who has the authority to exercise the power in association and manage the activities and affairs thereof pursuant to the organic law and rules of the association. So as you can see, they give you different examples here as to what this may be. If you're a sole proprietor, single member, well, not sole proprietor because you wouldn't be filing this. If you're a single member LLC, for example, you're not going to have to worry about any of this. You're just going to put in your personal information and you'll basically be the governor. It's different though if you're a partnership, so you'll see like different members of the partner over here, or the partnership over here. If my philosophy is if you are the main, obviously, if you're the main owner or the main contributor of the partnership, then you're going to be the one that's going to be putting yourself as the governor. If you're in a nonprofit, for example, it's going to be the president of the nonprofit. Things like that. It's going to be those. It's a fairly simple example. And when you fill out the information, it's just going to be your first name, middle initial, last name. And if you're an organization representing the business, for example, so sometimes partnerships, corporations, there may be a main organization that's representing the company, then you'll click that and you'll type in the organization name. So the next one is just the principal officers. So this is basically the different people that you may have within your company. So for example, nonprofits might have a treasurer, they might have multiple different members that are in their party or in their not their party, their business, and for those they'll have to put each member, they'll have to put what position they are, and they give you different ones here. So there's obviously the president, the vice president, secretary, treasurer, and different other ones as well. The main one though, if you're a single member LLC, is you're just going to put yourself as the president like I did here. So for my business, I'm the president basically of the business because I'm the only owner, I'm the only person within the business. So in this case, I put myself as the president and I moved on. So it's a fairly pretty simple filing when you look at it, because that is actually the very last step that you have to do. So normally there'd be a processing fee. Since I've already filed, there's no processing fee, but the normal fee is $7. So this is obviously annual filing. So every year you'll have a $7 annual filing fee when you go to file this new form. And then you'll click once you actually I don't even think there's anything you can do here. I think you just click Next Up. You'll just make sure all your information looks good. Do not want to change this. Principal office, governors, officers. They're just going to basically have you review your information, make sure it looks all good. And if it does, you'll click Next Up. And then you'll sign the documents by basically checking off these boxes here. You'll put signer's capacity refers to the person, title of the authorized representative. So in this case, this would be they give you different examples here. So member, manager, partner, director, chairman, president. So whatever you put as the officer before, just put that here. So if you put that you were the president of the company, you'll put president, your name, and then the date, which you just click today if that's today. And then you'll click File Online, and again, you'll have to put in your payment information. So generally speaking, if you have a credit card or a Visa card or debit card, you can just enter that in real quick and file filed online, it gets accepted and processed in a matter of minutes, not even, I think it's like less than that. And make sure that once you do file this, that you save that document and you keep it for your own records, because it's going to be something you might need in the future depending on how things are going. I always recommend just keeping any sort of documents like this part of your company for at least 5 years, 7 years, maybe even longer than that. So yeah, that's really all it is. It's a very simple filing. Basically, the whole point of this filing was to replace a old filing that was in place, and they just want to make sure that they are verifying the businesses that are being created, and that they basically, if there's any change in ownership and things like that, that they know what's going on in each business. So it's basically just to give the government more information as to what your business is doing, the whereabouts of your business and location terms and things like that. So if you need any help or have any questions about getting this filed, you can comment down below and I'll be happy to help you out. And other than that, I'll see you guys in the next video.